I don't know her name. I don't know where she comes from. I don't know why she appears in the synagogue on the particular Sabbath day of our gospel reading records, but I can picture her. A weary woman, resilient and resigned, a woman bent over and quite unable to stand up, a woman who spends her long days staring at the ground, staring at her own feet, staring at the dusty sandals of those who pass her by on the road. Not because she wants to avoid eye contact, or miss each morning's sunrise, or forget what the stars look like, or never raise her face to the evening breeze, but because she has no other choice. Luke tells us that by the time the bent-over woman encounters Jesus, she's been crippled for 18 years. I wonder if she showed up for worship every weekend during those exhausting 2 decades. I wonder if anyone noticed her. I wonder what hope or meaning or solace the weekly ritual afforded her, if any. I wonder what sort of life she shuffled home to afterwards. According to the text, the woman doesn't ask Jesus for help when she appears in the synagogue on that particular Sabbath day in question. He's teaching, most likely surrounded by a crowd. She does not approach him. Who knows if she even notices him, bent over as she is. But he sees her. He sees her. When he calls her over and she approaches, he puts his sermon on hold and says the thing Jesus always says in the Gospels when he encounters the sick, the broken, the dying, and the dead. You are set free from your ailment. Then the Gospel tells us, Jesus laid his hands on her and immediately she stood up straight and began praising God. This is the line I've been struck by all week, the line that makes my brain race. Immediately, she stood up straight. I think the line bowls me over because in this current climate, we are not accustomed to thinking of the church as a place where hunched, crippled, exhausted people are invited, encouraged, and released to stand up straight. Especially not people who are disenfranchised and marginalized by those who hold power and authority both inside and outside of the church. Women, people of color, immigrants, the LGBTQ plus community, the poor, the homeless, the elderly, the incarcerated, the mentally ill, the differently abled, the uneducated or undereducated, the spiritually broken. This is to our own shame. Why don't we think of the church as a place where people unable to stand up on their own can come to have their dignity restored and their full potential realized? Why, when we think of the church, do we more often picture people bent over under the weight of shame, judgment, invisibility, false piety, condemnation, prejudice, legalism, and harmful theology? Unfortunately, the gospel story itself offers the answer. As soon as Jesus unbinds the crippled woman, the leader of the synagogue voices his displeasure and his indignation. Essentially, his angry criticism drowns out her joyful praise. There are 6 days on which work ought to be done, he tells the crowd. Come on those days and be cured, and not on the Sabbath day. In other words, the leader protests because Jesus disrupts the regular Sabbath schedule of the synagogue. Jesus messes with tradition. Worse, he places a socially expendable, physically disabled, spiritually vulnerable woman at the center of the tradition. Jesus allows the woman's need to interrupt his own sermon and welcomes her praise song even though it upends the synagogue's order of service. To be clear, though, the leader of the synagogue is not a bad guy. His intentions are not evil and his concerns are not without merit. He cares about right worship, right belief, right practice. He cares about honoring the Sabbath, obeying God's laws, and upholding the faith-filled traditions of his spiritual community. There's nothing intrinsically wrong with any of those goals. But what the leader misses is the heart of the Sabbath, the heart of God's law, the heart of the tradition. What the leader misses is compassion, The kind of compassion that trumps legalism every single time. The kind of compassion that doesn't cling to orthodoxy simply for orthodoxy's sake. The kind of compassion that consistently sees the broken body, the broken soul, the broken spirit, before it sees the broken commandment. This story, like so many gospel stories, illustrates a basic truth about God's inbreaking kingdom. The kingdom doesn't care about our timing, or our sense of etiquette, or our obsession with propriety and decorum. The kingdom cares about love. It cares about love now. Most of us, like the woman in the story, know what it's like to be bound by circumstances that diminish, distort, and wound us. Most of us know or have known what it's like to lose agency, mobility, and dignity to forces too powerful for us to defeat on our own. Some still are crippled because they have not experienced the church as a place where they are seen, cherished, called, invited, unbound, and released to praise God with their unique stories of healing. How, given these realities, can we leave room for Jesus to show up and surprise us? How can we make sure we're not so entrenched in our theological, liturgical, cultural, or political points of view that we fear and resist the new, the unorthodox, the unconventional? How can we make sure that our religious practices and preferences don't get in the way of God's tender, compassionate unbending? Jesus responds to the leader of the synagogue by calling the healed woman a daughter of Abraham. Ought not this woman, a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan bound for 18 long years, be set free from this bondage on the Sabbath day? Jesus doesn't stop at freeing the woman. He restores her to community, to her community. At the same time, he calls on that community to repent of its hypocrisy and narrow-mindedness, and embrace her as its own, not as an object of pity or scorn, but as a daughter, as an heir, as a human being worthy of both love and dignity. Jesus laid his hands on her, and immediately she stood up straight. What would it be like if the church were known for this? For restoring stature, dignity, community, and honor to people crippled in all the terrible ways the world cripples them. Jesus is all about our unbending, our standing tall, our finding our voices so that we can praise the God who has unbound us. May we be about such compassionate acts too. Alrighty, a few announcements. First, we did go to Pride yesterday in Bloomington. It was lots of fun. I took some of our tissues and some of our chapsticks and I handed them all out. And I gave, 15 to 40 glitter blessings. So I took some glitter. It was fun though, it was fun. The roller derby team was there too, so I was there pretty much all day. But it was good. So we've got a lot coming up. Most of it is right here in your bulletin, in your announcements. There's just a few things that I'd like to add, so I'm going to go through them and we'll go from there. Laundry of Love is this Tuesday. The vestry and I have decided that from now on, second Sundays of the month, the undesignated plate donations will go to Laundry of Love in order to continue to help support that ministry. So second Sunday, plate donations. I will announce that again, but we wanted to make sure that it was announced so that you guys know. We will be having an instructed Eucharist on September 14th. That's where I'm going to go through and say why we say the things that we say and why we do the things that we do. If you have anybody who's like, I want to go to the Episcopal Church, but I don't understand, that's the time, okay? And then following that, on September 28th, we are having a celebration of new ministry for me. The bishop will be here. So in the morning, we will have morning prayer. I will not be here for morning prayer. Kathy has graciously accepted the opportunity to do coffee hour for after morning prayer. And then in the evening at 5 p.m., we will be doing the celebration of new ministry with the bishop. We're going to do a pitch-in. The vestry agreed that the church will provide the fried chicken, and then everybody else will do side dishes. Now, for desserts, we want to do what's called a Pittsburgh cookie table. I don't know a whole lot about it, okay? It's mainly Sarah's thing. But Sarah has migraine right now. I can't really explain it. So, when you sign up, if you want to do cookies, sign up for under the Pittsburgh cookie table because she's going to need help. She can't do it all herself. It's a bunch of different cookies that eventually, at the end of it, you can actually take some home in a little bag. That's kind of what it is, okay? So if you're interested in doing cookies and a side, you're going to want to sign up on both, but if you want, that sign up's in the parish hall. That was a lot, sorry. We are doing a work day on September 20th in order to prepare for the bishop coming and hopefully having guests, because we're going to invite some people to that celebration of new ministry. So we want to make sure everything looks good. We are also going to do an inside yard sale. So as you guys start closing up for the winter, don't throw away those things that you think are actually worth something. Don't give them to Goodwill. Keep them. We will start to collect those things, any donations, and then the proceeds, I can't remember where the proceeds are going, but then the proceeds go to some ministry in the church. Sorry. If you don't have anything to do next Saturday from 12 to, I want to say 5, is Catter Day in Bloomington. It's the local cat shelter puts it on. They invite a bunch of vendors to come. The idea, of course, is to get cats adopted, but we are going to be there. Sarah and Sarah's mom do a company called Yarnings by Mauger. They crochet a bunch of different things and they sell those things. So if you're interested in coming out, we would love to see you. Did I miss any announcements?
You didn't say where.
Because I don't know where it is, but
It's across from the mall.
it's across from the mall. Do you remember where the old Pizza Hut was? The building's still there. I will get I'll get the address and I'll make sure it gets out.
Look for cats.
No, there's no actual cats out, but yes, you can go visit the cats and bring them out. Okay, any other announcements that I missed? Because I know that was a lot.
Lady Richmond, yes.
Huh?
Lady
I don't want to put
Eucharist.
that on
It's on.
there. I know that, but I don't want to say it. Okay. Anything else? Any birthdays or anniversaries? You're being called out. Do you want to come up or do you want to chill out? Okay. Happy birthday. May God's blessing and love be upon you. Okay. Alrighty, in that case, ascribe to the Lord, be honored in his name, bring offerings